Yeah, the darkness is spreading.
The main hero is a nameless hero. He encounters a dungeon that he falls into, which happens to be an abandoned castle. And while searching around the castle, he discovers a creature of legend known as the Majin. He's not aware of what it is or who it is, but he discovers it while it is imprisoned. It had been imprisoned there for about 100 years, about as long as the kingdom's been abandoned. By going through the castle and retrieving some of the Majin's powers, he's able to set the Majin free, and the two of them do begin a friendship of cooperation where they help each other out to escape the castle. Once they're out of the castle, it's discovered that the Majin has lost his memory. The main character is given a nickname. The name of the character that the Majin names him is known as Tepeu, and he's actually a person of legend that was alive around the time the kingdom was still thriving. The Majin is slow. He's very clumsy, but on the flip side, he's very tough and he's also very strong. The flip side, we have Tepeu, who is very nimble, very quick, but he's also very fragile. The dynamic between the two of them is that Tepeu can run around and draw the enemy's attention, and when the enemies have their backs turned, Majin walks up right to them and slugs them right in the back and sends them flying. It's actually very easy for the Majin to be overwhelmed when surrounded by a large number of enemies, and when that happens, Tepeu can step in and draw some of the fire away, and that'll actually allow the Majin to concentrate and to defeat the characters.
No! Leave me alone!
Well, the world that Tepeu is exploring is an open world, and he and Majin will encounter lots of different puzzles that they have to solve together. The easiest of it being a door that the Majin is strong enough to lift that Tepeu would definitely not be strong enough to do. So by commanding the Majin to open the door, the Majin will walk over, open the door, and then the two of them can proceed. There's far more complicated puzzles than that actually require Tepeu to explore in an area where the Majin can't reach, and in doing so perhaps encounter a lock that needs to be released so that the door that the Majin is waiting at can be opened. So there's a lot of puzzle elements combined with the action of the combat system. As you go further and further into the game, you'll discover that the Majin is able to recover some of his lost powers, like the power of wind, fire, lightning. These not only aid in combat, but they'll actually be necessary in order to proceed through some of the puzzles that you'll find. There are very large boss battles that are awaiting the Majin and Tepeu. Part of the puzzle-solving element plays into that. The player will have to try to figure out what he needs to do in order to get the enemy in a vulnerable state so that the Majin can inflict some damage. The two of them will have to cooperate in order to figure out what to do, and once they've figured out what to do, then they need to cooperate together to actually take the enemy down. As they progress through the game, they encounter a large number of perils together and overcome them. During the course of that, they will have numerous times where they sit down and have conversations and try to figure out who Tepeu is, who the Majin is. There's flashbacks where the Majin gains his memory, and Tepeu shares these flashbacks with the Majin, and together they find out what happened to the kingdom. Why is it forsaken? Why is it abandoned? Why are these enemy creatures roaming around, and what can they do to bring the kingdom back into a state where it is flourishing once again? And throughout all of that, there's a strong character development between the Majin and Tepeu, and a good, strong bond of friendship forms between the two of them.
Let's go!
Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom will be available sometime this winter, and it will be available for the 360 and PS3.